Look. Hey, look, I'm back. Now, with so many people pissed with the new American Express Gold, I would do a disservice not touching on the Platinum and everything that has changed for some time now. But I think it's important to do the same kind of theory, a real world case scenario of how I would use that credit card and do the numbers based on that. Again, guys, we won't have any slides. If you like the slides to come back, comment down below. Last time I asked you, nobody said anything, so I assume you much prefer just seeing my beautiful face. So the annual fee of the Platinum is at $695. The current offer that I can find is 125,000 points after spending 8,000 in 6 months. There's a bunch of different credits. Depending on who you are or what your travel habits are, you might use some of these, you might not. Right now, there's $200 on hotel credits and $100 on food. Now, this is for 2 nights minimum through the Amex portal on the fine hotels, but they also give you $100 to spend on food or spa or whatever similar. $240 digital entertainment credit, $155 on Walmart, $200 on Uber Eats. I say Uber Eats because that's what I use it for the most part. Priority Pass, Centurion, whatever. $200 airline credit, $100 Saks, that's $50 every 6 months, $189 on Clear, $100 TSA pre-global entry, $300 Equinox. Yeah, the multipliers, 5x on flights directly with airlines or through the Amex portal, 5x on hotels, 1x on everything else. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to go through this credit and just comment briefly on them because some of them are completely trash in my opinion, but some are not. We have to be fair here. I honestly started this numbers here ready to trash the Platinum just as I did the Gold. But it didn't go exactly what I was thinking. So $200 hotel credit. Okay, assuming that you have a Platinum, you can afford to go to this kind of hotels. And they give you $100 credit for spa or food, which is great. So it's $300 really. $240 on digital entertainment is actually the only kind of credit that I really missed since I didn't have my Platinum, because I had all kinds of subscriptions with it and I lost them, or I had to pay for some that I actually kept. So $155 Walmart. I wasn't using Walmart by then, but now that I have a baby and we're buying formulas and stuff, we are using Walmart. So that would be useful for me, to be honest. And on top of that, it gives you Paramount Plus, which is another added benefit that is not calculated here, but maybe it should. $200 Uber credit is actually not bad at all. I mean, if you think that the Gold gives you only 120, this one is 200. It actually covers a whole lot more. Priority Pass, Centurion Lounge. I don't care about the lounges, to be honest. And I talked about this before. When I go to airports, I don't like to go and spend too much time. But I also want to go early only because I'm nervous. I want to be next to my gate. So I wouldn't leave my gate and go to another terminal just to get a free drink. That's me at least, and I don't think that's a luxury experience to begin with, or wait in lines and be told that you need to wait about an hour or whatever. So yeah, on top of that, if you see the language on the Delta Sky Clubs, it's a little crazy. They have a bunch of different dates there describing different scenarios from this date to this date, from this date to this date, and from that date on. So basically, the newest that will happen is that this card will only give you 10 visits unless you do a minimum spending of, I think, $75,000 a year. So starting January of 2025, so in a few months, it's gonna go to only 10 visits per year. $200 airline credit, but that again needs to be an American Express travel partner, and you have to choose at the beginning of the year every year, and you're stuck with it for the rest of the year. And I think that's BS. $100 Saks credit. I was actually using this surprisingly, but it made me spend more. So I was taking advantage of the $50, but I was spending more to get what I wanted. We'll get to that later. 189 Clear credit. Clear, I used about 3-4 times, and every time I got disappointed. I saw people using the normal TSA pre going much faster than me because they have the agents that need to come and get you and go through the process with you. It's not automated. They have the machines, but then you need to wait for an agent to take you by the hand and take you to the officer, the TSA officer. So for me, it didn't work. I've seen comments here in this channel, you guys loving it, having a whole different experience. That's great. For me, it never worked. TSA pre-global entry, I freaking love this one. $300 Equinox credit. Now, if you're an Equinox guy, you have a platinum, so you should be an Equinox guy. You have to also be in a metropolitan area because that's where the Equinoxes are. The closest I have here is here in Bethesda, which is not that far. It's actually very close to my work. But Equinox $300 credit, it's at least $200 a month. So we'll get to that. The big problem I see with this credit card, though, and even more than the credits and everything else, is the multipliers. The multipliers really suck. 5x on flights directly with airlines or the Amex portal. 5x for a $695 credit. There's other cards that give 10x for the same kind of scenario. Chase, for example. The Reserve. 5x on hotels through the Amex portal. So these expensive hotels, only 5x. And then 1x on everything else, which I think it's completely BS. If you ask me, I think this is the worst part of this credit card, surprisingly. I thought I would hate other things more, but the multipliers are by far the worst. Yeah, it does have the status with Marriott and Hilton. They're all gold. And then Avis, Hertz, National. You can get some good value from that if you travel internationally. That's for hotels. Okay, let's make this clear. For hotels, if you travel internationally, that gold status might mean something. Okay? But when it comes to the car rentals, National, for example, I tried to use it in Greece. I didn't know until last minute, and I went and I read all the fine letters. These credits are domestically and Canada. So if you travel in Europe, South America, whatever, you're going to be very disappointed. There's nothing here for you, okay? So it depends on the circumstance. Again, more hoops. It's not the same everywhere. So you get something in hotels. When you travel internationally, you lose when it comes to car rentals, and you lose in hotels because everybody has status in the US in these hotels, or most people, and you gain the status and the rentals. So what I did was I added all these benefits. Again, the sign-up bonus for me, based on my personal experience, is 1-to-1, 1 cents per point. And I know that many of you get a whole lot more. Congratulations. I am not one of you. I travel typically coach or coach plus. So that's not for me. 125, it's $1,250. And then I get the $300 for hotel credit plus the $100 on food and spa. 240, 155. The end is $3,034. And then I have to spend the $695 for the annual fee, $8,000 to hit the sign-up bonus. $1,482 based on that andas in Costa Rica that I did with the gold. $1,000 I have for Walmart because I will need to use Walmart, and I am using Walmart, but that's how I would use it. I didn't have any spending on the digital entertainment. I have that as digital entertainment. I have as complete win because when I did have it, it was really a money savior for me. I wasn't spending anything extra, so that was great. So it's not calculated here. $300 for the Uber because I am paying for Uber Eats, for example, and I had the example of Five Guys, $25 per meal. So I spent $300. Now I will subtract the $200 that I'm getting as credit later. You will see. I need to spend about $140 to get an advantage, the $50 tax credit. I don't have anything for the Clear and the TSA. I have them as complete win. I'm not spending anything extra. But for the Equinox, at least the one where I am, close by, the minimum you can get a yearly subscription is $2,400. So that's what I have. The total comes to $15,017. So in my case, in order to get advantage of all these things, to get $3,034, I need to spend about $15,000, which comes to 20%. The Amex Gold, that is technically cheaper, is only 6% return on spend, and the Platinum that I was ready to completely trash is still 20%, even with the kind of math I'm doing here, which is conservative comparing to what most Platinum users actually do or should be doing. Because if you're a Platinum user, in my opinion, it means that you either travel for business all the time, so you're gonna take a whole lot more value than what you see here, a whole lot more value. You're gonna actually save a lot of money just going to the lounges, or you travel all the time for pleasure, and even in that case, you're gonna get a lot of value out of this credit card. In my case, I'm not taking a lot of value because I'm putting here realistically what I'm expecting to spend. And I'm traveling once or twice a year max at this time of my life, since I have the newborn. Later, hopefully that will change. But right now, this is where I am. So for me and for most users, because I know most of you, I asked you before, most of you travel a couple times a year max, and most of you don't even travel outside the US. So how would you use this Platinum? Be realistic with yourself. In conclusion, though, the Platinum is a whole lot better than I thought, than I expected. And I guess having reviewed the gold and being so trashy, I was really hyped to make this video and trash this credit card, but it's really not as bad as I thought. And for a select few, it's actually the card to have. But let me know what you guys think about the Platinum. Is it for you? How many times do you travel outside the US a year? Or how many times domestically, but you do get a plane? Thank you so much for watching. Until the next one, ciao.